mother told me the facts of life, she didn't tell me everything. Take Playtex tampons. Fact. It's the only tampon that comes with deodorant or without. And it's great protection. Playtex tampons. When you know the facts. Mother told...
Stop squirming. Sucrete spray will take care of your sore throat. Trust me.
For temporary relief of minor sore throat pain, Sucretes last twice as long as the other leading brand.
Maximum strength Sucrete spray. Lasts twice as long.
Calgon, take me away!
Indulge yourself in Calgon luxury. Let Calgon soften and pamper you. It's like no other bath experience.
It's paradise.
Calgon, lose yourself in luxury.
Now, brilliant nail colors for today's new fashions. Leigh press-on nails in 18 deep, rich, dimensional colors. Cotton candy.
Sample.
Opal mist.
Mysterious.
Leigh press-on nails. 18 great nail colors you just press on with undreamed-of ease. Desert mold.
Lovely.
Fiesta.
Lively.
Sugar plum.
Luscious.
40 Leigh adhesive tabs and 20 Leigh press-on nails for a perfect fit. Leigh press-on nails. 18 sensational fashion colors. Press on.
On a job like mine, I can't slow down for a cold or a cold medicine that makes me drowsy. That's why I count on Sudafed.
Sudafed starts to work in as quick as 22 minutes without drowsiness. It's the fast-acting cold medicine.
It won't slow you down. Good evening, and welcome.
You know, it's funny. Lots of people used to think what made a great raisin bran was just a couple of scoops of raisins. But today, people want more. That's why today's people prefer Post Natural Raisin Bran. Post is different. Look how some raisin brands hide their raisins with sugar. Not Post. These beauties are naturally sweet. And taste these crispy wheat and bran flakes. Fantastic. So don't settle for just any raisin bran. Insist on Post Natural Raisin Bran. Today's people prefer Post.
23 million Americans suffer muscular back pain.
I just get that tightening feeling, as if someone's tightening up my lower back.
Doan's pills relieve minor back pain for hours. Its special ingredient is found in no other leading analgesic.
They're just super.
Get Doan's pills.
In recent clinical studies, one group used Scope, another Levoris. The results, Levoris was more effective at reducing bad breath. To appreciate how much more effective, we suggest you do your own field research.
Today's the day. My 10-year reunion. I can't believe it. Back in school, I was on a pretty tight budget. That's when I discovered Suave. Then I started working and tried those expensive shampoos and conditioners. Know what? They weren't any better. They just cost more. So I came back to Suave. I'll bet a lot of my old classmates spend a fortune on their hair. I don't. Suave just makes me look like I do. Oh!
Now hold your beautiful style longer with new Suave hairspray and look like you spent a fortune on your hair.
The simple way to get the calcium you need has always been the natural way, from dairy foods. 3 servings from a variety of dairy foods can give an adult the 800 milligrams of calcium you need every day. Natural calcium. What could be simpler than that? Dairy calcium. Calcium the way nature intended.
We started making Jimmy Dean sausage in 1969, my hometown, Plainview, Texas, and the folks kind of liked it, and then folks from Lubbock started buying it, and then Dallas, and then it just kind of spread all over. And today, Jimmy Dean sausage is the #1 selling breakfast sausage in these United States. And quality brought us, and we're going to stay with that. And we thank you for making it #1. Jimmy Dean sausage, taste America's favorite.
You know you love it, so do it.
Turn on the juice, let it flow. Turn on the juice, let it go. Orange juice when you're rocking, orange juice when you're not. Turn it on when you're cooking, drink it down when you're hot.
Turn on to 100% pure orange juice with Florida's seal of approval. It's juice packed to standards even higher than the federal government's.
Turn it on the juice, turn on the juice.
For all it's worth.
If you want calcium in a...
All right, we had to let our today's show sponsors play. Thank you for joining the show. Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to, I guess you can say this is the first official episode of the Fight View 360 Boxing Podcast. Look, we started at exactly 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be here for about 30 minutes or so. I even got show notes, and you can check down below. in the description box or in the show notes of the podcast. I got to be honest, I'm a little down. Can I share with you guys? You're not going to judge me? I'm a little down. And when I look at the boxing schedule and what's been going on overall in the business, I'm a little bitter. I'm a little jaded. You know, I've been bitching and complaining a lot lately about the sport, especially when it comes to Premier Boxing Champions. They are on my shit list. To be honest, I thought about getting liquored up before I did this stream so I can just start ranting like, I'm fucking sick of this shit, god damn it. Like, start cussing up a storm. But I said, you know what? We're going to keep it cool. We're going to keep it cool. Yeah, I got some show notes and everything. Check down below in the description. All right, they're a little rushed, but I'm going to clean it up, you know. But today's episode of the Fight View 360 Boxing Podcast, available on all of your listening platforms, iTunes, Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Blog Talk, and all those other ones too. We're going to talk about the PBC Showtime card this weekend. Is it O'Shaquie Foster or O'Shaquie Foster? I've been butchering his name. So anyway, I think this weekend, right, I made some chicken in the air fryer, some chicken wings with a shake and bake, Parmesan shake and bake. And it was horrible. Well, anyway, I think I undercooked the chicken. So right around, I'm going to say, what's his name? Leigh Paro, the Cuban dude that stopped Victor Faust with the broke his ribs, the body shot. I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting real weak. And my stomach started hurting. I'm like, man. And I had a beautiful, like, productive, phenomenal day. You know, went out early in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, walked the dog, went to the gym for a little walk. Like, you know, the day was going real good. And that chicken messed me up, man. Like, that chicken messed me up. So I did cover UFC, but I was supposed to cover the Foster versus Ray Vargas card, but I think I undercooked the chicken. So basically, I was down all Saturday night, Sunday into Monday yesterday, like just weak, like messed up, like. But anyway, I'm never going to do that again. So we're going to recap that card. We're going to talk about PBC's next card. What's that, February the 25th? Between, busy day for boxing, by the way. Brandon Figueroa, the pretty one, versus Mark Magsayo. You know, I thought about identifying as Filipino. I think I might do that one day. They have a conference call tomorrow. A virtual press conference tomorrow. I might be on that. The Tank Davis clip from the Tank Davis Ryan Garcia fight. What was going on with the clip of him being in a wheelchair? Thurman versus Spence, and what's going on with Spence versus Crawford. I got some clips from the Max on Boxing podcast regarding possible Wilder versus Francis Ngannou or Wilder versus Tyson Fury 4. Ill. Andrew Ruiz versus Filip Hrgovic. That's going to purse bid. And Leigh Wood versus Mauricio Lara, which is this weekend. And Tyson Fury being a no-good ducker, not wanting to fight Alexander Usyk. Yes, that is true. Some rando says, long story short, whatever year Manny Pacquiao fought Chris Algieri, that was 2013, right? I was messing around with dark magic. Hear me out. I had like these chicken bones. Like I had some fried chicken from Chinese stores. So I saved up the chicken bones till no bullshit, till they got like real dry. Because you ever see like the 80s movies and the voodoo dude? What movie was that? Not Predator 2 with Danny Glover. What was the Seagal movie when he had to fight the twin voodoo dudes? Well, anyway, I learned voodoo from action movies. So I got all these leaves and like some carrot sticks. I had this printed out these Chris Algieri pictures because I wanted Mayweather Pacquiao to happen. It did happen. I mean, the ultimate sacrifice. So Pacquiao had just got knocked out by Marquez. And Algieri was hot at the time from beating Ruslan Provodnikov. So I tried to voodoo Chris Algieri. But anyway, it turned around on me and my life was fucked. You know, ended up in a coma, all that shit. Like I was like, you know, so I learned like I'm never fucking with dark magic again. Like, especially not as no novice. Like I'm not even getting the new Hogwarts game. I don't watch Harry Potter, no black magic, no nothing. Anyway, moving on. Boxing right now. I've been doing voodoo. I've been covering boxing for a long time. And fights, if they don't lead nowhere, I'll be like, yo, I'm not wasting my time with that shit. You know? I'll lay right on my motherfucking couch. I'll watch the fight, fall asleep on it, get up 4 o'clock in the morning and do a video. But sometimes it's certain fights, like I'm going through like a midlife boxing crisis right now. You know? I'm trying to figure out like what I really want to do. I can never see a time when I'm not always going to cover boxing. I'm always going to cover boxing. But in what capacity? You know, I know I've been saying it, but I'm getting older, man. And I be thinking like I can be eating at fine ass restaurants, and I do. You know, I go to nice places, but I be like, to stay in the house and watch some of this shit and knowing it's some bullshit like Wilder versus Helenius. Why? For what? Even Emilio Navarrete versus Liam Wilson. It's like, all right, man. But for what? You know, what does this mean? What is my calling in the sport? Yes, I did think that. No, I didn't think that Manny was going to lose to Chris. I just said I didn't want to take no chances. So I said, I'm going to give Manny a little boost. I saw his mama was doing voodoo, so I said it couldn't be that hard. So I tried some of that shit myself. But what you didn't know is Chris Algieri would wear this anti-voodoo medallion. No bullshit. I'm not even lying. He used to wear this anti-voodoo medallion, and turns out that shit bounced back on me. Like, you know, you can't be messing around with that shit, man. So let's talk about the Showtime card this weekend. Did you see it? I watched the whole card. No, I watched the whole card. I fell asleep during Mario Barrios fight. You know, like my stomach was finished. So I fell asleep and I'm in my full like gear. If y'all don't know, I kind of got a uniform. I only wear this when I'm doing videos. I got like 15 gray undershirts that I only wear for videos. I will not wear them nowhere. Anyway, I had my full uniform on. That's how messed up it was. I was ready. I did get up for UFC though, because I was like, gotta get this money up. God. You know, but I got up. I got the job done. But the next morning, I had to wait because when you have Showtime anytime, the fights just don't pop up. They're not readily available. So you got to watch the next broadcast, which is like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning on like Showtime Extreme. And then the next one's not until like 10 a.m. They're not readily available. I don't like that. I've always bitched and complained about that. So I did get a chance to watch the fight. Here, let me pull up the card here. Pull up the card here, and then we're gonna look at some rankings. Was Ray Vargas the favorite? Was Ray Vargas the favorite? Because the main interest to me was like, yo, Foster gonna win this. I seen enough of him and enough of Ray Vargas. I've never been really high on Ray Vargas. You see what I'm saying? And I was never high on Mark Magsayo. And I think Brandon Figueroa gonna beat Mark Magsayo, by the way. That's the fight that's coming up, the next PBC fight. This fight's pretty good. I like this dude right here. What's his age at? I was like, all right, I'll go with 30. They know they can't get away with that shit no more. You know, if this was like 5 years ago, they would have said this motherfucker was 22. You see, they put 30, he 30 years old. They knew they can't get past this no more. You know, they was like, all right, he probably tried it, but they was like, all right, man, like, listen, they on to us. They probably asked him, like, what's your age? He probably was like, I'm 21. They was like, yo, bro, they done found out Luis Ortiz and Frank Sanchez and Rigo. No, I can pass for him. I'll accept him being 30. He 30. He 30. But you know, the motherfuckers used to be ridiculous. That'd be sure enough like 32. They'll come over and be like, you know, they were like, how old are you? Like, I'm 22. See? Fucking loser T thought he was slick, like we wasn't gonna figure him out. But anyway, I like this dude, even though, you know, he was pretty much Cuban school, you know, not too much punch variety. But he ended up hitting Victor Faust. And he was winning, he was winning off of basic shit. He hit him with one of them sweeping right hooks to the body, like where it kind of glazes across you. And I saw the way it hit that like a rib was broken. You can just tell. Mario Barrios versus Giovanni Santiago. Meh. Didn't really wet the whistle. But this is the guy that got robbed against Adrian Broner. A lot of people felt. By the way, Adrian Broner is returning. He's lost all that weight. He's coming back also on the 25th on BLK Prime. Pay-per-view. I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to buy that shit. I'm a degenerate. I'm buying 2 fights that day anyway. I'm buying the Mayweather fight too. Fucking degenerate I am. As soon as I say I'm going to give up and like I don't want to do this shit, here I am dropping like $80 on fights. And isn't Tommy Fury fight that day too? Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. Oh Lord. It's going to be a busy day. I don't have money. But overall, I enjoyed this card. I do admit, you know, as you can see, 2 stoppages and the last fight with the main event with Vargas versus Foster. A lot of people, from my understanding, thought that Vargas was going to win. However, we must talk about it though. In fact, we will be back after a 120-second commercial break. Please subscribe. Take your time out. Like the video. Subscribe. We will be right back. The Fight View 360 Boxing Podcast.
Cereal. Just right is the wrong place to look. There's hardly a grain of calcium in Nutri-Grain or a shred in shredded wheat.
I can't find any. Can you find any?
In fact, there's no calcium in most major brands, except Whole Wheat Total. Now, besides 100% of 9 vitamins and iron, Total is the only major cereal that's an excellent source of calcium. So if you're looking for calcium, look for Total, the only major cereal that's a major source of calcium.
Tuesday. Drive me out of here and drive me out of here fast.
Henry is kidnapped.
I think we ought to talk about this.
Will the Hills say goodbye to Goldblum?
Dig a grave.
Tuesday.
All douches are not alike. Only Summer's Eve disposable douche has this unique one-piece flexible design for comfort and these gentle cleansing formulas. Try Summer's Eve, the douche that's unique. You'll feel Summer's Eve fresh.
Great sale if you know karate.
All right, and we're back. Here's some good news. I have been updating my and shout out to our sponsors, Summer's Eve, Total, and Hill Street Blues. I have been updating my website consistently. The website that I've paid thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for. As you can see, we have hey, please be respectful to my sponsors. I'm very grateful to have those ads. So yeah, we've been updating everything. All your fight news is here, but we're here to worry about the rankings. Let's go see what Foster's been doing. Or what the division's looking like. You have Navarrete there now at 130. The problem I have is it's a division that it's like it can't be really unified. It's too many politics going on. For example, here I'm gonna show you right now. Foster just won this WBC title. Boom. Hector Garcia, that's a fight that can be unified. Okay, you can unify that. Hector Garcia fought Tank Davis at 135, but now he still has that WBA title, the only WBA title, down at 130. Rakhimov is taking on Joe Cordina. I forgot that date, but it is on the website. Let me see if I can find it for ya. Where we at? What date is that? That is going to be on April the 22nd. There you are. It's on the FightView360.com. Then you have Emmanuel Navarrete, who is going to be taking on Oscar Valdez. So I wonder what Ray Vargas is going to do. I'm guessing he has no choice but to stay in the division, or is he going to go back down? Because he is kind of a big dude, you know, tall. Moving on Let's see here. What do you think about this? I want to show you this clip right here. Tank Davis, a clip from TMZ was put out of Tank Davis basically in a wheelchair, leaving a Super Bowl. And as you know, if you don't know, we're supposed to be getting close to an announcement for Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia in Vegas on April the 15th. Well, next week will be, tomorrow will be 2 months from the fight, February being a short month. For a fight like that, you have to do a press tour, press conference, and according to Oscar De La Hoya, the biggest sticking point is the rematch clause that basically Golden Boy's side should be able to control the rematch, correct? I think that makes sense. If Tank Davis loses to Ryan Garcia, what's so difficult about that? You know, if it's being allowed for Tank Davis side for the first fight, if it happens, to control, like, okay, this is where it's going to be. This is what we're going to do. We can negotiate some things, but certain things are just off the table. It should be the other way around. But in this petty sport, but then again, we really don't know what's going on. And me, I'm not really a fan of like public negotiations from promoters about like, all right, we got to get this done before then. We got to get this. But at the end of the day, like, I don't see why this shit's so hard. And me personally, I don't see this being a million pay-per-view fight. I see what, 500K? I think that it's going to not, you know, and Oscar De La Hoya, I don't know if he meant globally, but I did watch the Ariel Hawani podcast a few weeks ago when he was on there talking about his lipo abs. And he said something along the lines like 2.5 million global buys. I don't know if he meant global overall views and buys or whatever, but the shit don't make no sense. Like, where are these numbers coming from? Because at the end of the day, these fights are being streamed to smithereens. They are crisp, clear, no ads anymore. Like, come on, man. Like, people, and then the target generation, you know, that 18 to 35 demographic, motherfuckers be broke. You putting on pay-per-views every month for the most part, like, people be broke. So here's that clip right here. Let me pull it up for you. I uploaded it yesterday of him. Here you go. This is Tank via TMZ in a wheelchair. It's like, what the hell?
No. We got that fight coming up. You gotta beat it, bro.
You know, so that's a little concerning. It's a little concerning. Maybe he had a little twist or something, and then it's like, "Oh, champ, like, you gotta chill." You know, maybe he was drunk, fucked up, and it was like, "Oh, we can't have you stumbling out. It's best you get in the wheelchair." I don't know, but he did, however, you know, reassure us with some sweet dance moves right here, you know, on the jet, that, you know, everything was cool. You know, so it was looking that one ankle look a little fucked though. This joint look a little fucked up. Hold on, I don't know. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Look, that joint a little gimpy. I'm just messing around with you. My page didn't crash. Guess it just wasn't meant to be. But I'm hoping the fight gets pushed through because we need that fight. We already have Imantas Stanionis taking on Virgil Ortiz April the 29th. That is official. That was supposed to happen next month, but it was an injury. Or was supposed to happen this month? I don't remember. What else? Crawford and Thurman, Spence update. We don't know what's going on with that at all. And that fight is supposed to be in April too, remember? I've already said it. I'm cool with Thurman versus Spence because at the end of the day, maybe it's because I always knew it was going to come anyway. Vargas versus Foster did peak 162,000 views. Jeez. Here, let's go check out some clips from Max on Boxing on various different topics they've talked about here. Let's see, where do we start? You can find us on ESPN Plus. We already talked about that. It's nothing new there. Let's talk about this. In fact, we only can listen. on Fury and Usyk. Something tells me that Fury really want that Ngannou fight. That's what something's telling me. Here, let's listen in.
I think he's always been a serious fighter. This is a guy that had more than 100 amateur fights and was a serious, accomplished amateur in the U.S. And I think Ryan Garcia gets unfairly docked because of the YouTube stuff and the social media stuff. But he's a real fighter, and people in boxing will always tell you, this guy can fight, and I give credit to him for pushing these fights. He even told Gervonta Davis earlier this week, stop hiding behind Al Heyman, stop hiding behind the rematch clause, and make this fight.
I agree with you about Ryan Garcia. He's hunting big fights. I'm just talking about the perception among a lot of boxing fans. How close are we to a deal, speaking of big fights, between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk to crown an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?
Not all that close, Max, unfortunately. There's been a holdup. I was talking to some people earlier today, and I'm told the fight is highly unlikely and probably not going to Saudi Arabia anymore, which really hurts the efforts because of all the money that they were offering to do this fight. Now the fight's likely to head to England, but the problem is going to be getting enough money to satisfy both Tyson Fury and
should have been in England in the first place.
And Alexander Usyk. And I was told that they are still targeting April 29th, but a long way to go, it appears. They need to get a deal done first.
I don't know if they get April 29th done, but I'm going to go ahead and say they're going to make this fight this year. It'll be in England. A lot of this stuff, as you mentioned, Mike, don't hide behind this guy or that guy. When two fighters are willing to fight, they figure it out. And it seems to me both these guys are willing. Speaking of a willing fighter, got a Deontay Wilder update?
Deontay Wilder is fielding all sorts of offers from different promoters. I was told that somebody from his team reached out to the Middle East and brought up the prospect of him fighting former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. So Wilder was looking to fight Andy Ruiz, but so far the money, just like with the Fury-Usyk fight, isn't on the table to satisfy both guys for PBC. So Wilder's out there fielding offers, and I don't know what he's going to do next. I think there's a number of options on the table, but there is, it appears, a lot of frustration right now between Wilder and PBC.
Deontay Wilder, don't do that to Francis Ngannou.
What's that frustration? Now, it's being reported through Boxing Scene and other media outlets that there's a purse bid for coming up February 28th for Andrew Ruiz and Filip Hrgovic, and both sides are interested in the purse bid. Now, Filip Hrgovic, I'm not sure if he's still under contract with Matchroom, but he's not a PBC fighter. Now, you're hearing that two fighters from the PBC stable, now follow me here, two fighters from the PBC stable that are supposed to be fighting each other, that PBC was really trying to shoehorn in, Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz, are both looking for fights outside of their stable. You have Stephen Fulton, who's going to be taking on Naoya Inoue, likely in May. We're going to listen to that segment next on ESPN+. You have Tony Harrison going over to Australia to try to dispatch Tim Tszyu to make way for Charlo Harrison 3. This is not something that would have happened 2, 3, 4 years ago. You don't see nothing wrong with that? Or not nothing wrong with it, but regarding like, yo, Al Heyman is starting to like bend a little bit, because at the end of the day, his fighters got to be active, And right now, let's be honest, Wilder versus Ruiz, it'll be a fight a lot of us would be interested in. But Wilder versus Ruiz don't crack 400,000 pay-per-view buys to me. And Ruiz has got to be thinking like, damn, I'm fighting Chris Arreola, and look, I done forgot Luis Ortiz, and look how long those fights took to make. These fighters want to be active, and they want their money in their hands after they fight, not having to worry about, all right, well, I made $20 million, but Al going to give me, he said I'm going to be taken care of for the rest of my life. I'm going to be getting these $200,000 checks every month. Like we've been heard about that with Mayweather. But now what's the point of that if you're not getting active? You don't get that time back. You don't get that time back. And then you hear constant or many times where fighters have turned down money that they will never get back. Like Adam Kwinoski, like Peter Quillen, You see what I'm saying? Just off the top of my head, when Al Heyman will say, he even did it to Terence Crawford, where he'll say, why put a cap on yourself? But then you got a guy like Wilder who was guaranteed whatever. I don't want to get into that debate with Joshua fight. The point I'm trying to make is you got fighters turning down all this guaranteed money for a plan from Al Heyman that don't be there. And PBC, I don't feel that as an organization they're going to go out of business. I just feel that Al Heyman's in a situation where he's promised these fighters this money, the ratings and the budgets and the networks. That's important. And the dates aren't there. Showtime doesn't have an infinite budget or schedule. You know, they get a certain amount per year to put into the fight and put into boxing. And then he's got so many fighters, having just one network is not enough. So as the title, well, as the thumbnail says, is the writing not on the wall? Just the inactivity alone. PBC was built off of having multiple networks. Remember, I was there. ESPN, NBC, CBS, and Showtime. And then the affiliate networks under that, the smaller networks like FS1. You know, and at one point in time, Showtime wasn't getting any fights to where they're completely reliant on Showtime. So it's hard for me to believe that even the most hardcore of hardcore PBC supporters, and some of them can be very pompous and very arrogant, it's hard to believe that they don't see the writing on the wall as their circle is closing in on them. Even from a media standpoint, you won't consider me credible media, but you have what is considered credible media. Like, look, you know, fighters are inactive. They're getting disgruntled. So to me, it's looking like the writing's on the wall. Something's got to happen. You know, either fighters got to start taking pay cuts and start getting on these cards with each other, or, you know, Al Heyman's got a plan, or if Steven Espinoza carries, you know, Al Heyman PBC over to CBS or Paramount in some way, shape, or form, that he's going to be like, all right, look, Al, we got to make these motherfuckers fight each other now. We can't just be having bullshit fights no more, you know? That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, I'm going to go walk my dog, relax, and I am going to be covering that Leigh Wood card versus Mauricio Lara, which I was forgetting to talk about. Here, let's check out a little bit more. We got some time left. I thought we was running out of time. We got some time left to check out some other things on here or the Maximum Boxing show. Hold on, I'm trying to find this clip. Yeah, let's listen to this for those who didn't get a chance to hear about it. We're going to see. Thanks for the super chat, Count Drago. If Wilder leaves PBC, White Chisora a big fight. Truthfully, I will still the White fight is still a big fight. The Chisora fight is a big fight. At this point, like, Wilder's got to start thinking, man. He got to start. Both of those fights are huge fights, especially if he goes to the UK, because he can ice both of them. And Wilder, despite that Glovegate shit, fans accept him in the UK. Like, he'll be able to sell out. Like, come on, man. You got to stop fucking around with that, like, that loyalty shit. Like, that shit don't pay the bills. Especially when you're a boxer and you're running out of time. Like, you don't have all day to be waiting around. Like, can't get no fights.
I think this fight's going to fly under the radar for a number of reasons. You know, you have smaller weights here, and of course it's going to be on in the morning in the U.S. here on ESPN+. But it's a fantastic fight between, I think, two of the 12 or 13 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and it's going to be a great action fight as well.
And if Inoue just keeps moving up and winning titles in weight class after weight class, we'll see if he wins this fight, if he can continue doing that. But we haven't seen that at this pace since Manny Pacquiao was doing a similar thing, just storming through weight divisions. And like Pacquiao, he's aggressive, fast twitchies, skills, and a lot of punching power. So we've been talking a lot about Crawford and Spence, Mike. Boxing World has. And every time it looks like maybe we're getting nearer, something happens and we get farther away. Now, Spence is going to fight Thurman. Is he at 154 pounds for good, do you think? Is that fight, even if it doesn't happen at welterweight, possible at 154? Meaning Spence, should he beat Thurman, which he's favored to do, and Crawford?
I mean, I do know that Spence and Crawford are still in talks. They're still trying to get a deal done in the backgrounds. And I guess there's also the remote possibility that maybe Spence, if they can get a deal done, would just say, all right, I'll push Thurman to the side for now and fight Crawford. But it's far more likely that Spence is going to continue to fight Thurman at 54. And Max, you and I have been, watching boxing a long time. It's very rare, I think, that you see somebody, especially somebody who's outgrowing a division like Spence, go up and then come back down. But Crawford has shown that he has no problem moving up in weight. He started at 135. He's now at 147. He's called out Jermell Charlo, the undisputed champion, at 154. So I don't see any reason why Crawford wouldn't follow Spence up to 154. But I think it removes a little bit of the luster from that fight if it's not for the undisputed welterweight championship.
It does, unless.
And I feel the same way. Honestly, I'm tired of hearing about the fight. Unless they say, I'm not going to be, you have people, and I'm not knocking it at this point, but it does have to be mentioned. You do have, like vloggers who live off of Errol, Spence, Terence, Crawford, like content, even if the shit be fake news. But me, I can't do it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about the fight. It's been years. And me, maybe it's just me being jaded. Maybe it's me being old school. Or if you want to insult me, then call me biased. Spence has been the A-side. As far as I'm concerned, once he got that second belt, he's always been the A-side. And Al Heyman made sure he was the A-side. He did. So therefore, to me, it's up to him and his team to make the fight. Why do something's going on with my Firefox. Everything just crashed for some reason. All right, we're going to quit. Well, it crashed for a reason. It's like, bro, they need to get the fight done because in history, it's starting, the tide is turning. It's not it's no other side of the street anymore. People are going to start blaming Spence, and it's starting to get there. I never thought, and for the people blaming Bud, I never thought people would be calling Bud Crawford a duck. But at the end of the day, from my side, you blame the A side. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but from my side, you blame the A side. Get the fucking fight done. And then I'm looking at this pitiful boxing schedule. It's pitiful. And then the good fights we want to get, they want to fucking charge us for them? Makes me sick. I bite my thumb at you. That's what they did, Romeo and Juliet. I bite my thumb at you. I got to bite my thumb. I'm not going to spit on my own floor, but you got to bite your thumb and spit on the ground I bite my thumb at you, boxing schedule. Everybody got to get their shit together. Everybody. And don't get me started on the zone that I tell you, I've been paying them in food stamps for a year now. And they tried to overcharge my food stamp card. I'm being dramatic. I don't want to get sued. But yeah, they tried to overcharge my food stamp card. I was like, no way, man. From now on, I'm putting you on the Cash App and I'm locking that motherfucker. I'm putting you on the Cash App card zone. Because they got this new thing now where you got to give them, you sign up. You can't just you got to give them 30 days notice. So say if you want to go month to month, you got to sign up and then not sign up immediately. I mean, you got to sign up and then cancel immediately, the same day, or you can't get out. So basically for one month, they getting 2 months out of you. It's yo, you make me sick, the zone. And I used to beta test for the zone. When the zone first came out, I used to be doing these long ass testing shit, making sure long story short, I used to be kind of in cahoots with the zone for a year. I didn't lie about it. But after a while, I was like, man, fuck that noise. I'm out. I'm out. Once they turned on me and copyrighted me for some bullshit. And then the dude over, and I forgot, with Austria, not Australia, Austria. I chased this motherfucker down, email to Austria, and then he wouldn't respond to my emails. Try to shut my channel down. I was upset. I was highly untethered. But anyway, let me get up out of here, guys. I am going to be back tomorrow, though. And we are going to be covering boxing this weekend. Shit, I need some motherfucking money. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. T Street Controversy with Fight View.